When I had my 6.5 Grendel out at my buddy Ron's place about 2 weeks ago, I noticed that about every other shot that I was taking, the scope was becoming very blurry and unfocused. The reticle maintained its clarity, but anything beyond 75 yards got really ugly and it was really hard to see my shots. Luckily, I was still able to hit steel because I just kind of trust my shots. But I started fiddling with this, and this is exactly what's going on. Check this out. Y'all see that thing moving? I'll have to show you during the daytime, but whenever I push it up like this, it's definitely moving one of the mirrors in there, which is causing its unclarity. So I'm about to change this. This is a Hawk 1.5 by 6 by 42, and I originally bought this for my 458 SOCOM, and I think the abuse that it took on that SOCOM is what's causing its unclarity. So I'm going to change this to a Millet DMS1, designated marksman shooter. This is a 1x4 scope. Close range, probably get it out to 300 comfortably, out to 400 yards. It's going to get real interesting, but I think I've already looked it up, and I'll be able to shoot 400 yards at max and have a good hold there, but anything beyond that, it's going to get really wonky. All right, people, comment below how many shots you think it's going to take me to bore sight this thing. I'm at 25 yards right now. Let's see if I get this to focus. Lock in that. There we go. According to this, I should be hitting about an inch and a half high. Get this to focus. There we go. Alright, let me make a couple of adjustments here. It's a little bit low right now. When you have a quality tripod like this, that is really close. It doesn't move. I mean, it bounces, but you can be really confident in your bore sighting. Alright, let me close this up, get a round down here, and we'll see how this goes. Okay, I'm high. First shot went to the 11 o'clock, so I need to drop it. Just a little bit to the left. Okay, let's try this shot number 2. My first shot, and then I started dialing it out the wrong way. That was my last shot, so I'm going to go ahead and step off to 100 yards and really get this dialed in. Let me swap out the paper. This Caldwell target cam is definitely going to come in handy today using this Millet 1x4 scope. There's no way I'm going to be able to see that bullet splash with these bad eyes at 100 yards. And by the way, some of y'all are probably going to ask, why the heck am I using such a small scope on what some of y'all might consider a long-range rifle? It is a long-range rifle, or long-range caliber. This is primarily my hunting gun. Sorry about the wind. I don't know if y'all can even hear me. But most of the shots that I take hunting during the day are under 75 yards. And the way that this scope is set up, and the reason that I'm dialing in at 100, is that there's no like hash marks for me to indicate. But using a 200 yard zero, which is what I typically do, there's definitely not any indicators. But with 100 yards, I know to hang the bottom part of the bar. I'll show you what I'm talking about. At 300 yards, I use the bottom part of the scope. And at 400 yards, I use the diamond part at the very bottom. And I'll show you what I'm talking about with my eye stray lock app. Let's get this dialed in at 100. Yeah, that looks good. Ooh, not bad, directly high. So it just needs to come down. That looks like exactly 1, 2, 3 minutes. Is this a half or a quarter? It doesn't say if it's a half or a quarter. Let's just go down, let's see. 4, 8, 12. apparently went the wrong way. Wait a minute. Unless this is half-inch adjustments. Let me go back up 12.
9, 10, 11, 12.
Okay, let's go down 1 inch, 2 inch, 3 inch. Yep, half-minute scope. That is off about 3/4. We need to come up 1, 2. Let's try that. Let's live with that. I don't know if it hit or not. I'm going to try to make the tightest group I can at 200 yards. But the only issue I have is I've got a black target and it's really hard to see. And so I have the bolt that I think I could see at 200 yards with a 4x zoom. That's going to be my point of aim. It's really hard to see with wet as the scope is. All right, let's go clean up. Here's the result of my 3-shot group at 200 yards that just measures over 2.1 MOA. I'm really happy with that result considering both of my lenses were absolutely soaked and smeared when taking the shot. The other thing that I stated earlier, I do have a 1 MOA dot at the center of this scope. So at 4x zoom, trying to see a 1/4 inch bolt at 200 yards proved itself to be very difficult. So I am really happy with that result right there. The other thing I discovered is playing with my 2 favorite ballistic apps. I figured up the dial-ups for this scope here. So this thing can get me out to 200 yards right there, into 300 yards here, and 400 yards here. And I know that the spring retention and return is really positive in here, and I will do a test just to verify that. But when I was sighting in this, once I figured out that it's an actual half MOA dial-up and not a 1/4 inch, it got it in there really quick. I will do a test just to confirm that. So stay tuned for my next adventure. I'm going to be heading up to North Texas to do some hunting with my 6.5 Creedmoor, and this will be the last time that I might be using this rifle this year. So stay tuned because my precision gun is coming in.